So thank you so much again for taking the time to speak with us. The first question I have, who is eligible for your higher education program?
Yeah, so the clients that we support with this program are generally coming from three directions mostly. So, high school students. So, these are high school students who are transitioning into high school from eighth grade all the way up through students who are seniors and transitioning into college. Second group would be adults who are arriving having earned some degree. Maybe they have their bachelor's and they're looking to go to graduate school, or maybe they have a higher degree and they want to know what opportunities exist for them beyond that. And then we have adults who arrive and want to begin their journey. They want to know what kind of opportunities are available to them beyond high school, which they finished in their home country. They want to start somewhere. Yeah.
Thank you. What are the main barriers your clients face in gaining access to higher education?
How much time do we have? Um, the biggest kind of overall challenge would be kind of a lack of knowledge of how the system works. It's complicated, even if you've been born here and you've grown up understanding pieces of it. Putting it all together can be complicated for us who are already here. So what we want to do is try to provide access to that knowledge so that clients feel confident and they can make informed decisions. So yeah, another challenge or another kind of group of challenges are more logistical, transportation. If clients are accepted, if young people are accepted to UConn Waterbury, how are they going to get there from New Haven? Do they have a car? Clients who are adults and have one vehicle, and maybe mom has to go to work and the dad wants to go to school and they have one vehicle, how are they going to make that work? Language barriers. So clients who maybe have an advanced degree but are looking at a few years of studying English before they can continue. For high school students too, but adults for sure, life-work balance. So having a family and having full-time work and looking at, they say maybe 15 hours of work per course. And does that mean you're just going to take one class per semester? And how long is that going to take you to get through? But what kind of time do they have to focus on school among all those other very real demands in their lives? I made a list, which I'm consulting because there's so much. There are so many different places that you can go for information about college, about the process, about opportunities that are available, that sometimes choosing which voices to listen to or knowing what's real and what's not, that can be really hard. There are a lot of very real, very genuine organizations and people who are offering assistance, but it can be hard to kind of suss those out, especially again if you're new to the system. Yeah, and then I think maybe one more to mention would be just a lack of preparation for the demands of college, the demands of higher education. There's this thing called the opportunity myth, where students, they're doing everything that they have to do through high school and they're getting good grades, and they have no idea that when they get to college, they're not going to be prepared. There's this gap between what students are taught and then sort of the reality of what's beyond that. They're not being prepared adequately, and it can be really difficult to help students be aware of that and to help kind of overcome that challenge. So that is a very brief summation of all the challenges that exist. There, the childcare, equity in the application process. This could be a very long interview. There's a lot. Yeah.
A lot of barriers. On a similar vein, how does IRA support access and retention in higher education?
Yeah, so most of the work that we do is individual. So I spend a lot of time working one-on-one with students, learning their learning their individual goals and making plans with them individually to help them feel confident about where they're going, to know what their next steps are going to be, and then sticking with them. So checking in with them on a regular basis, making sure that they're hitting all of the goals that they set out on, that they're organized, that they're aware of opportunities. And then once they're in a program, again, just staying in touch with them and making sure that they're doing okay. It's super common for students who are transitioning out of high school into college to be in that first semester and to be completely overwhelmed. And going back to that opportunity myth, we can talk about that and say over and over again how different it is and what a challenge it's going to be. But they really have to be there and experience it, and we're sticking with them through all of that, just making sure that we've got their backs, and we're working with them to provide the knowledge they need and the opportunities they need to succeed the same way that we were doing before they entered college.
And how many students have accessed college as a result of your program?
I would take issue with that question and say it was as a result of their own hard work and gumption that got them there, and we're just kind of pushing them along and forward. But yeah, it's about 100 adults over the past few years who have made it from this point where they're talking about what they want to do to going through the application process in some capacity. It's about 100 adults we've assisted with that process in some capacity. And for high school students, it's counting juniors, seniors, and students who are in their first and second year of college. It's about 60 students. Yeah, so it's a lot, yeah.
So I know that the next question is a difficult one. What is the impact of your higher education program on students' academic performance, career, and character?
Yeah. So measuring impact is always tricky. We have a lot of anecdotal information from students. They report feeling supported. They say they have the information they need. They had some hesitation about some particular step in the process, and we did it together. And then I can see that they're now doing it themselves. Or even better, they're helping other people, which is fantastic to see. I like to have a conversation with students when they're in their freshman or sophomore year of high school about joining clubs, the importance of getting involved. So impact looks like students getting involved, seeing that they are joining clubs, that they're doing things to further their interests and talents. We have a college and career readiness program. Back before COVID, we had it once a week, and it was in person, and it was super well attended. And now, in this place of remote interaction that we're in, it's still consistently well attended. We match students with mentors, and impact looks like those mentoring partnerships continuing, that students are turning to their mentors for support and they're moving forward with whatever process they're in. Impact also looks like getting messages from students, not with questions, just with happy news that they are, they're sharing acceptances, lots of confetti-worthy moments. That's the best kind of impact.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
So this is similar but slightly different. What are your benchmarks for success?
So overall, it's students who have completed various stages of the process. So have they completed their FAFSA? Check. Have they gotten all the recommendation letters they need? Check. Have they finished their Common App? Check. And depending on what university, beyond acceptances, which are another set of checks, have they done the things that the university is requiring them to do? So for students who are transitioning out of high school into college, that's what we use. That's what I use to track success. Yeah.
Okay, what recommendations do you have for members of the U.S. University community, from presidents to student advocates, to promote refugee access and integration into higher education, like on their own campuses and communities?
Yeah, more opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities that are out there, kind of spread across the country and across the world. Scholarships for refugees to particular colleges, they're super generous. But we need more opportunities that are closer to home. I think if I were to make a particular ask of universities, it would be turn to your community, turn to the people who are immigrants and refugees in your own community and ask them what they need to make your university more accessible. Opening a door is just, it's not enough. Like, people need help, kind of getting through that door and visualizing what's on the other side. So that means providing programming that is specifically designed by immigrants and refugees for immigrants and refugees, taking all of those challenges into consideration. And that starts all the way from, how do you promote your university? Like, which communities are you speaking to? Are you actually going to those communities? Are you listening to what they have to say and making sure that the application process is straightforward and streamlined and speaks to their needs? Making sure that once students who are immigrants and refugees are on campus, like, what kinds of wraparound supports do you have? Is everybody kind of aware of the particular needs and challenges these students might have in their daily lives, and what are you doing to help them be successful? I think there's maybe an idea that if a student has gotten to college, like, part of being at college is like proving that you can make it, that you can do it, that you're, being an adult means that you're this classic American myth, pulling up your own bootstraps. And no, we all know that everyone needs help. Everyone needs some support. So just making sure that people are getting what they need. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so important. That's something definitely I think my own school could work on.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done, I think, at every institution. I think there's a gap. A lot of institutions are saying the right things, but then doing the work is something very different, because you really have to, like, get in there and go out and talk to people and then act on what they say. And that takes time and it takes money, and it's not, I know it's not easy, but oh my God, the payoff is just, we need everything that people who are immigrants and refugees have to offer. We need their energy, we need their drive, we need their innovation, we need all of that. And it's not just me saying that, as a person who works for a resettlement agency. Like, there are so many reports, and and it's I think for the benefit of our country that we do everything that we can to make sure that we're making our institutions of higher education accessible to everybody.
I completely agree. Next question is, how do you promote your higher education program?
Yeah, so a lot of it is through referrals. So as an organization, we make sure that all of our staff are aware that this kind of help exists at IRIS, and that if anyone is asking for it, then a referral can be made to me. So yes, staff awareness. I get a lot of clients who refer each other. So at the end of the meeting, I'll hear, wait, I have another question. I have a friend. I hear a lot of that. Sometimes I'll get referrals from institutions themselves, which is great. And then in terms of, like, actively promoting it, we do an occasional post on Facebook or social media. Yeah. And I think that's mostly it. In terms of, making sure that the word gets out to the people who could potentially benefit from this support, it's very much, talking to people and encouraging them to talk to others. And yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
Just that, I think so much of this, what you're doing and what others who are doing this work are doing, It's everything that refugee resettlement is about. It's everything that folks who want to come here for. It's moving forward in life. It's pursuing dreams. It's contributing to, you know, the wealth of this nation. It's just so important that we all do what we can to help push each other forward and pull each other up. And yeah, I'm really grateful for you amplifying this message. I think that's it.
It's been so great hearing about this program.
Thank you. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Lizzie. I'll talk to you by email.